of the mission of the People Republic of China to the European Union.
Good afternoon. In Chinese, 下午好. First of all, I have to thank Marie Bola, Kepki,
Fantastic.
for organizing such kind of successful seminar about China, Europe. And thank you for inviting me to be here to make a short. I will be trying to as short as possible. It's a great pleasure for me to join you in this meeting and share with you my thoughts on dialogue between China and the EU. I understand that today in our meeting we have a lot of experts, scholars, and successful business leaders. Your personal knowledge and personal experience of China-EU cooperation and exchanges are very inspiring. As today we have a lot of friends from the business community, I would like to focus my presentation on the economic and trade cooperation between China and the EU. You know, this year marks the 35th anniversary of the China-EU ties. Over these years, particularly over the last 10 years, since the turn of the century, we have seen significant and profound changes around the world. The magnitude and scale of these changes are beyond our imagination. I think it is fair to say that China's reform and opening up and its fast economic and social progress constitute an important part of this trend. This is my third month in Brussels. What I feel over the last couple of months is that China has become a practical subject of study, and go to China has become a fashion. Almost every day you can find something about China on paper or on TV. In fact, events like this meeting we are having today are also good examples of people's increasing interest in China. The China-EU relations is the world's most important pair of bilateral relations, and it is exactly because of our business cooperation that we have tided over the difficulties of the international financial crisis. EU statistics suggest that last year, EU's total export fell by 16%. However, EU exports to China grew by 4%, making China the EU's only major trade partner to have maintained an export market of positive increase. Chinese statistics also suggest that in the first 4 months this year, EU exports to China further grew by 42%, making China EU's fastest growing export market. The Chinese market has become the ideal safe haven for EU companies in the time of crisis. A survey by the Chinese EU Chamber of Commerce showed that many European businesses operating in China fear that they are making better profits there than at home. And many companies also plan to further expand their presence in China. Under such a context, how to have a good communication with China becomes a very real question for people wishing to catch the chance and jump on board China's fast train. Based on my personal experiences and observation, I think there are 4 principles we could follow to ensure fruitful and effective conversations. First, mutual respect. Europe supports a multilateral world and respects for cultural diversities. China and Europe share very different social systems, cultural background, and historical experience. Mutual respect is therefore all the more important in the bilateral exchanges between us. This is actually a self-perceptional question of whether we can have an open mind to accept others' difference in an environment of diverse culture. It is only conceivable that we cannot communicate effectively with an exclusive mind. Only through positive and active exchange could we remove the barriers between us. And if we are willing to move one step forward to build mutual trust, we will even be able to further reduce misunderstandings. Second, consultation on an equal footing. A moment ago, I talked about our difference in the political system, cultural tradition, and level of development. With all these differences, it is only natural that China and the EU may not see eye to eye with each other on a number of issues. The key is to have comprehensive dialogue and in-depth exchange of view on issues of mutual concern on the basis of consultations on an equal footing. Thus, exchanges on matters that we disagree with each other could help us increase mutual understanding and build consensus and mutual trust. Sometimes our different perception of the urgency of the particular issues and our different priorities could emerge as obstacles. Under such a circumstance, consultation on an equal footing becomes even more essential. For China, we welcome dialogues rather than pressure. Attempts to focus attention on individual case or push the government into certain decisions will without doubt adversely affect the China-EU relations. Third, mutual benefits and win-win progress. In the world today, unlike any time before, countries are interdependent and share a same destiny. No country could address global issues on its own, nor could one achieve prosperity without the rest of the world. It is imperative, as it is viable, that we promote equal cooperation, mutual benefits, and win-win progress in the China-EU relations. If we look at our business cooperation from a strategy and long-term perspective, we will find that there is strong complementarity and huge potential in our economic and trade ties. I believe that as long as we follow the principle of mutual benefit and win-win progress, we will be able to properly handle trade frictions between us through consultation. Fourth, conform to local customers. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. The idea has two aspects. The first is to learn more about China and to see a real China. It is by no means an easy task. Language, culture, and other all constitute barriers. However, I think the biggest obstacle is to have a sincere heart to really learn and explore with a fair and objective mind. For some reason, journalists and media in Western countries have very strong bias against China. Whenever there is something negative about China, we will see extensive coverage of matters in the West, many of which based on nothing but groundless assertions. Many reports even sidesteps China's voice with a deaf ear, undermining the transparency and the fairness of the press. In fact, in China, we have a government that is open, inclusive, and willing to heed advice and suggestions. I hope that all of you here will not be misled by this biased opinion. The second aspect of the idea is to adapt to China's environment, follow the law and the regulations in China, and go local. It is fair to say that despite of the huge progress we have achieved in promoting the rule of the law, we still have a long way to go for improvement. I know we have some legal professionals with us today. Though I understand that today we are mainly discussing communications and exchanges, I do want to say that I hope to see from you in the future valuable contribution to help China go further in building a society governed by law. As the guest and the host in our exchanges, we both have responsibilities to live up to, and I do share the view expressed by the previous speaker on this aspect. I hope that in the future you will visit China more often to become a part of China reform and opening up endeavor, and share the opportunity and achievement of China economic and social progress. I believe that as people who have practically witnessed this development, you will contribute to stronger mutual trust and a deeper understanding between China and the EU. Thank you.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, it was a great honor and opportunity for us to welcome you today, right here in this beautiful hotel, a place full of history. Thank you very much again for coming here today.